or 1,000, and this big guy that I'm holding is the 500 caps. Well, we have already sold how many again have we sold so far, Jared? I'm gonna check that out. Over 13,600 gone. And here's the thing, with 4,271 reviews, 4.7 stars, a huge customer pick, 93% of the reviews are perfect 5- and 4-star reviews. Well, let me quickly give you all of the different options. We have so much to tell you about this incredible supplement that I take every single day. Why? Because it's responsible for the hardest working organs of my body and your body. But check it out. We have the 30 capsules. Today, $24.90, saving $16.45. The 60 capsules, $39.90. You're saving $36.90. 120 capsules, they're only $69.90 with $73 back in your pocket. 240 capsules, fabulous, $129.90. $123.20 saved. But here's the one. This is the one I know I bought mine yesterday. I had a little sneak peek yesterday morning. 500 capsules. Please take a look. I mean, this is a $511.98 value. This is the pricing with the vitamin D3 2000. Check it out. You are only paying $199.90. By the way, flex pay on everything. The fact that you also have free shipping and handling. But look at what you are saving. $312.08 saved. But you know, I think to me, it's almost more than that, because the saving is how you are feeling. You live the difference. And you know, when we talk about how important CoQ10 is always referred to as ubiquitous, which means it's in basically every single cell in your body. You cannot produce energy without it. And I always, to me, I really love and respect the energy that I have. And I think with this year and the last few years, right, the stress we've gone through, and by the way, all of this helps, or all of it does deplete your CoQ10, stress, poor diet, lack of exercise. All of this has an impact on how you are feeling right now. Here's the thing. It is also an amazing gift idea. You have the opportunity here at HSN not only to take advantage of literally the best, the world's finest CoQ10, the best value we've ever had, and it is one day and one day only, particularly with the opportunity to get, which a lot of us I know are supplementing separately with the vitamin D3. You have your vitamin D3, 2,000 or 1,000 or without, all the sizes, and oh my gosh, I am just so happy to see your fabulous, handsome face, Andrew. Welcome again, and thanks so much for being here.
I thought I was just going to sit here and listen to you talk for an hour, which would have been my pleasure. But I guess we were having a little bit of technical issues. But I'm here.
Well, I'm glad you are.
It's my pleasure, Bobby. Always fun. We've been doing this for what, 26 years?
26 years, Andrew.
Yeah.
Can you? And I think, you know, I looked at you this morning. I have to tell you, you look so incredibly handsome. You look so much young. You look amazing. I mean, as you always do, but you're going backwards.
Too kind. No, you're too kind. We all can't escape the changes associated with aging, but hopefully that other expression, ravages of aging, hopefully I do enough things where I'm not having to experience the ravages of aging, but simply gracefully getting to age before everyone's eyes. I mean, I've been doing this on television, starting on QVC 32 years ago. I started making vitamins 43 years ago. We started offering CoQ10 long before anyone else, 38 years ago. So we're kind of unique in the supplement industry, a bit of an anomaly. There are other folks who back in the day, back in the 1970s, like me, started a vitamin company. Most of them are gone. They've sold their companies. They're not doing what they started. And even back in the day, most of them didn't choose to actually make the products. But because our products were so different, so unique, we couldn't do what everybody else did. Everybody else just delegated manufacturing to somebody else. They delegated to a contract manufacturer. That's how we've always controlled the quality, controlled the purity. That's why our products have always been dramatically different. Our products are entirely made using solar energy. Our facilities have absolutely no carbon footprint. So it's a very unique approach. The CoQ10, no one has more experience delivering CoQ10 than we do. What I learned a long time ago is even the best CoQ10, if it's all alone in a product, it can't deliver the benefits because most Americans suffer from insufficiencies or deficiencies in other vitamins that are associated with the benefits of CoQ10. Those benefits associated with energy, associated with optimum heart function, optimum brain function, liver function. So what we do is we deliver the CoQ10 you need in the best form you need at the levels you need, 200 milligrams. And that's what the science and research talks about. But we also make sure that it's a comprehensive formula, that you're getting the equivalent of a separate vitamin C, the equivalent of a separate full B complex with our unique B12, protected B12, because B12 is so hard to deliver. As much as CoQ10 levels aren't what they ought to be in most of the American population, B12 levels, vitamin D levels are probably even worse. So with this product, you're getting both. And you could choose the level of vitamin D you want. You could choose to get no vitamin D, or you could get 1,000 or 2,000 IU. And guess how much more that vitamin D costs? Nothing.
Yeah.
So you choose one of those three versions. No vitamin D, 1,000 IU of vitamin D, or 2,000 IU of vitamin D. And it's all the same price. And when you look at, simply looking at CoQ10, I'm dating myself when I say this, but back in the day with CoQ10, rule of thumb was a CoQ10 formula was about a penny per milligram per dose. So 200 milligrams, a penny per milligram, would be about $2, meaning that large size 500 capsules would be about $1,000. That doesn't consider the full B complex, the separate vitamin C in there, and the separate vitamin D. So that's back in the day. Today you're talking about the 200 milligrams with all those other ingredients for a small fraction of that, for $199.90. And yes, $109.90 is expensive. But this is not your typical 30, 60, 90-day supply or even a 6-month supply. It's almost a year and a half supply. It's 17 months of CoQ10, 17 months of vitamin D, 17 months of B complex with B12 and folic acid, and 17 months of vitamin C. So hopefully, it's overwhelming what a great value it is. And what also underscores the value here, it's less expensive today than it was when I introduced it 38 years ago.
That's right.
Than 5 years ago, 10, 15, 20. So you could turn back the clock. And the other thing that I'm actually a bit surprised we've been able to do, that over the past few years, we've been able to hold the price on CoQ10. So what I always used to have to apologize for with CoQ10 was that it's so important. I'm sorry it's so expensive. I always say that vitamin D is just the opposite. It's so important, but it's so affordable. CoQ10 is now less than a quarter of the price it was back in the day. So I don't have to apologize for the expense, and you get to experience the benefits. And there are some folks who take 30 milligrams a day of CoQ10. If you did the math on that and realized 30 milligrams a day, that's about 200 milligrams a week. That's what you get per capsule. And if you look at the science, yes, 30 milligrams is a meaningful dose, but 200 milligrams is the dose that if you had a choice, that's what you'd be doing. That's why we make it so affordable. And if you choose, you could always take it every other day. And that makes it even more affordable. And you're still getting, on average, 100 milligrams a day. And that is a significant dose as well. So you can make it work for you in terms of economy. Hopefully, the pricing, the value today makes it an easy decision.
Sure does. And it's a gift of energy, right? So you think about that. And to that point, I want to remind everyone, we've extended that return policy all the way to the end of January. So I'm holding right here, Andrew. This is the one we wait for, right? The 500 caps, which, you know, and obviously incredible value in the savings of each one. Particularly, we all know what's going on in the world, so we're in awe of what we're able to do today for one day and one day only. And you can see all of the savings up there on your screen. But the great thing about the CoQ10, and I really thank you for doing it this time of year, because I think in the holidays in particular is where we really probably experience even more stress, where we really need our energy. And on a daily basis, you know, to me, your energy is everything, isn't it, Andrew? I mean, how you feel when you get up in the morning that you can go out and you can, you know, attack the world and deal with everything that is thrown at us in our life. CoQ10 is your natural way to supplement. And I'm always in awe. I'm picking up one of the capsules, Andrew, because I'm always in awe of the absolutely magnificent natural color. I mean, just look at this. Look at the beautiful color. That is your actual true CoQ10, because no additives, no fillers in any of your amazing supplements.
And that's, yeah, it's 100% pure. That's why when you look at the granules there are a little bit sticky, which makes CoQ10 a little bit difficult to encapsulate because we don't use additives again. But they're sticky because CoQ10, it's a lipid-soluble ingredient. It's more akin to fats than, say, something dry, something that might be, say, more aqueous. But the properties of CoQ10 make it a little bit difficult to encapsulate. And again, we still manage to do it without lubricants or flowing agents or any excipients at all, any impurities at all. You simply get what you want. And Bobby, you were talking a moment ago about energy. And we could talk about energy if we're talking about vitamin D or vitamin B1 or vitamin B2. So all of the ingredients in here have a bearing on energy. But I think it escapes a lot of us what energy really is.
Yeah.
Certainly, like if we talk about our car, whether it's an electric car or whether it's a gas car, you're going to have fuel, whether it's electricity stored in a battery, whether it's gasoline that's going to be oxidized, burnt for energy in the engine. And with a gas engine, ultimately that gas is going to have to be ignited. We talk about a spark plug. That spark plug provides the spark that creates that small explosion that generates the power that we experience in an engine. I'm digressing here a lot. But in our body, we have lots of fuel. We have stored fat on our body. We have blood sugar. We have glycogen stored in our liver. We have glycogen stored in our muscles. So we have an abundance of fuel. None of us lack energy for a lack of fuel. The reason we experience a lack of energy as we get older is basically, among other reasons, our body's ability to create that energy. And again, what is that energy? How do we experience energy? And what's weird about our body, as perfectly as it is designed, the energy in each and every cell of our body is the responsibility of each and every cell in our body. The energy can't be shared by a neighbor. So one cell can't make energy and give it to its neighbor. Each cell is responsible for its own energy. And inside each cell are these organelles, these little organs that are responsible for the production of energy. And we hear about them a lot, mitochondria, that how our mitochondria age and their genetic material age might determine how we age. So we want to keep our mitochondria healthy. CoQ10, perhaps the most important external ingredient we can deliver to protect our mitochondria. But beyond that, how do we make energy in the mitochondria? What is this energy we experience? We understand in a car how that energy is being generated by burning fuel, but how is it created in our cells? And basically what's happening, as our cells are going through certain metabolic processes called the tricarboxylic acid cycle, Krebs cycle, as it's going through these processes, what it's doing, it's moving what's called electrical potential. It's moving electrons. So it's taking this electrical potential. And what is CoQ10 in relation to that process? CoQ10 is one of the means by which, a central means by which our body moves the electrons that determines the electrical potential. That is our human potential. So we basically are sort of electrical beings. It's sort of weird to say we're electrical beings, and it's the movement of electrons within our cells that is our energy. So very simply stated, the movement of electrons within our cells, which is all of the energy we experience that keeps us alive and allows us to be the human beings that we are, whether it's our thoughts and brain function, whether it's our liver, our heart beating, muscles contracting, that's entirely the movement of electrons for which CoQ10 is indispensable. Indispensable. And it's one of those things that, as indispensable as it is, our body still can only make a small amount when we're young. As we get older, that amount shrinks. And it's the supplementation of CoQ10 that becomes critical. And some folks will say to me, well, I eat a perfectly healthy diet. I don't need to supplement CoQ10. I might need to supplement vitamin D because it's really not available from the diet at all. Maybe B12 because it's hard to absorb from food. But CoQ10, my body makes it. And guess what? As you age, your body makes much less of it after the age of 20. But assume I get it from my diet. That's fine. If you look at the chart I have to my right here, it talks about the best sources of CoQ10. And it's talking about the equivalent of one capsule. So to get the equivalent of one capsule of CoQ10 here, the best sources are all organs from animals. You're not eating 2 pounds of pork heart or 3 pounds of chicken heart or 3.5 pounds. There's some guy on Instagram called the Liver King. He probably does just fine with CoQ10 because all he does is eat animal organs and things.
That's so funny.
He's getting plenty of CoQ10. But
he's got that himself. Yeah.
the more typical things we do, whether it's beef shoulder, pork shoulder, chicken thigh, canned tuna, the more typical animal sources, which are the best sources of CoQ10, you're having to eat 4, 10, 11. You're eating
Crazy.
enormous quantities of these foods every day. Chicken breast,
Yeah.
something that I eat, I'd have to have 35 pounds of chicken breast. I don't eat that much chicken, probably maybe in 6 months.
Yeah, months,
So
yeah.
it's really impractical. So if you want to get this critical ingredient that is, I mean, I think certainly top 10, maybe top 5 complaints we give when we go to the doctor is not feeling like the energy we used to have, we still have, that fatigue is now something that kind of plagues us. It's very common. And CoQ10 is something that we don't have the same levels of CoQ10 we used to have. It's just a fact of life. The ability to synthesize CoQ10, which is limited to start with, becomes even more limited with age. And that's why supplementing it makes such a profound difference. And to make the value of this product too good to turn down,
Yeah.
we make sure it's the most comprehensive CoQ10 product in the world at the best price we've ever offered, which is saying a lot because we've been offering CoQ10 for 38 years since 1984. So hopefully you take advantage of it.
Oh my gosh, absolutely. And listen, if you're like me, I wait for this day. It is the lowest price of the year. The best value, as Andrew said. This is the only day that you're going to see this as a Today Special. And I want to say thank you because we have hundreds of people that are now calling. And by the way, if you also, like me, prefer to be able to take advantage of it with the benefit of the vitamin D3, this is the only time. This is not part of our regular assortment. So it's the only time that you can grab either your CoQ10 with your vitamin D 2000 or your vitamin D 1000 or without. And again, can I show you the pricing? Because honestly, that's what a Today Special is all about. And as you also are watching that counter, over 14,000 spoken for, obviously savings in every one of the different sizes as you travel down the board. Huge savings today and today only. When you get down here though, the 500 capsules, this will be the only time. We only do the 500 capsules when it's a Today Special. Look at what you're saving. You're saving $312. You're saving over $100 more than you're actually spending. 5 flex pay on everything, the extended return policy at the end of January. But here's what says so much about this, Andrew. 4,271 reviews, and 93% of those reviews are perfect 5- and 4-star reviews. And we always tell people, we don't filter them either, right? I mean, those reviews are all there, everything you say. So imagine having a 5-star, that many 5-star reviews on a supplement. I mean, we know it works.
And what's interesting about the reviews, it's sort of a pet peeve of mine, especially when you go to that big website we all know, and you see products that aren't all that popular, yet they have thousands or tens of thousands of reviews. You read the reviews, they're machine-generated reviews. The reviews you see here at hsn.com, these are reviews that if you got the product and you tried to review it the next day, you wouldn't be able to. HSN actually requires that you could experience the product for a week or two before you could post a review. That we know that folks rely on these reviews, so we take pains to make sure that they're verified, validated, authenticated reviews. So it's something that oftentimes you see on all these different websites. Lord knows where the reviews come from, but the reviews here are reviews you can trust. You read the reviews. Some of the reviews are 500, 1,000 words long. They're impressive, compelling, inspiring reviews. And for me, some of the best ideas and suggestions for products come from the reviews. So we pay careful attention to them. But I was going to show another chart here.
Perfect.
Because CoQ10, most of us take medications. And there probably isn't a medication that doesn't affect CoQ10 synthesis, which means it doesn't affect your body's ability to produce energy. And remember, your body's ability to produce energy is defining of your key organs' abilities to function. So CoQ10 levels go down, heart function suffers. CoQ10 levels go down, liver function, by its very definition, has to be affected. So what we're seeing here, this is acetyl-CoA, that is acetyl-CoA. That's a raw material through what's called the mevalonate pathway. This is how your body makes either cholesterol or coenzyme Q10. Same assembly line. So it's like in the body, if say an assembly line made 2 different kinds of cars, in your body, really efficient, it makes 2 different materials. The same exact assembly line makes cholesterol or CoQ10. So when you take a drug that reduces CoQ10, and that's the most prescribed drug in America right now, you are reducing CoQ10. So you lower cholesterol, great. You lower CoQ10, horrible. Because CoQ10, your heart is dependent on CoQ10 to function at its very best. And when you look at studies on heart failure, on all sorts of issues of optimal heart function, as CoQ10 levels go down, if you really dial the level down of CoQ10, you're dialing the level down of efficiency of functioning, optimum functioning of whatever organ you're looking at, in particular the heart. But also, if you look at the mevalonate pathway, the statin drugs inhibit HMG-CoA reductase. Bisphosphonate drugs for osteoporosis, again, heavily prescribed drugs, affect the farnesyl PP synthase. So they also affect CoQ10 levels. So whether it's beta blockers, whether it's drugs for osteoporosis or osteopenia, whether it's antidepressants, these are drugs that are extremely well prescribed, heavily prescribed in America. They affect CoQ10 levels. No wonder that fatigue is one of the most common side effects. And when you look at statin drugs, one of the best ways to limit side effects of statin drugs, it's shown in the science, is by making sure that you supplement CoQ10. And I have quotes from the science that talks about if you're taking statin drugs, if you're taking bisphosphonates, you should supplement CoQ10. So again, it's something to talk about with your doctor. It's just basic common sense. And CoQ10 is something your body must have in every single cell, or that cell can't be alive. It's not optional, because that cell, to be alive, has to produce its own energy. In order to produce its own energy, it needs to be moving electrons. In order to move electrons, it needs CoQ10. And as we get older, our CoQ10 levels suffer. And again, if you look at our original blueprint, you look at what we were doing, say, 5,000 years ago, we were probably very lucky to make it to the age of 30 or 40. We are now blessed to live to 80, 90, 100 years of age. To me, it's just common sense to know that things change.
Right.
And we either become the victim of those changes, or we pay attention to them, and those changes are an opportunity to make a difference. Yes, I wish I'm going to go for a run after this show. I wish that when I did that, I ran as fast as I did 30 or 40 years ago. I will not, but I'm still able to run. So I think to the extent we could all do what we'd like to do, we need to support that process. It's kind of common sense, or we just become a victim of aging. You know, things are going to happen, and they're not all going to be great things as we get older. But to the extent we decide to have a hand in what's going to happen, those outcomes are going to be better. It sounds like the kind of advice you'd give a child, that the more good decisions you make, the more your future is going to be better. And when it comes to things like vitamin D or B12 or CoQ10 or vitamin C, you get all of them in this product, a full Bcomplex. So this is one of those decisions. As great as my Essential One multivitamin is, I'd be hard-pressed to make a decision whether this CoQ10 product, which is like a multivitamin because it has 10 different B vitamins in it, as well as vitamin D and vitamin C, which is more important, Essential One or CoQ10? This version of CoQ10, because it's so comprehensive.
Right.
Your choice. So if you're going to swallow one capsule a day, for me, I might even choose this over my Essential One. If it was only going to be one capsule per day, if it was two, I'd take them both. Because with this, you're getting all your B-complex, and you're getting the vitamin D levels you need, and you're also getting the CoQ10, and you're getting vitamin C. So incredibly, incredibly comprehensive.
I love when you're here, Andrew, because we learn so much. And just listen to that, you understand why, of all the amazing things that we sell here at HSN, this CoQ10, one of the most important purchases that you could possibly make. And I know there's a clock on the screen, and I do want to say thank you so much. We just saw hundreds more jump to the phones. The value speaks for itself. The savings today, which, by the way, today is the key word. It is one day only day to get it with the vitamin D3. And these are the best prices of the entire year. But we talked about the reviews. Would you like to read some of the reviews, Andrew?
Yeah, I got some reviews here. I would love to. And,
cool.
And the reviews are compelling. They're inspiring. And again, when you look at an ingredient like CoQ10, and I've been offering CoQ10 for 38 years, I didn't offer CoQ10 38 years ago because it was going to be a popular product. No one heard about it. I was the only person talking about it. The only reason I offered it, and I begged, borrowed, and stole basically to convince a company in Japan to sell me a small amount of it, because it was such a small amount. They were only offering CoQ10 to laboratories. They weren't offering it to companies that were making supplements yet. And the only reason I felt I had to make the product was an ethical imperative, that it was so important that if I felt it was ethically important to offer vitamin D, which I did even 38 years ago, then CoQ10 was just as important, and I had to figure out how I could get it and how I could put it in a product. So 38 years ago, I was sort of, and I remember saying this on TV even, I feel like the lone voice in the wilderness calling out about a single ingredient that no one cares about. And what's amazing now, I walk into a Target or a Walmart or a Costco or a supermarket or a pharmacy, and I see CoQ10 all over the place.
Yep.
So on one hand, it makes me feel great that ethically 38 years ago, and even the folks at that company that offered that initial CoQ10 will say that I'm responsible for helping to put it on the map, to educate people about CoQ10. Unfortunately, there's been a lot of bumps in the road, and a lot of companies have made little shortcuts and offered not the best forms and sources of CoQ10 and not the best formulas of CoQ10, but at least it's an ingredient, as I've said before. If you get my CoQ10, I'm confident you're getting the best formula in the world. If you get someone else's CoQ10, it's not going to be as good, but in all likelihood, it is way better than nothing. It's such an important ingredient that even when executed poorly, it's still going to be beneficial. And that's the important message here, that CoQ10 is something that it's really not optional. We need it. We can't produce energy without it. Our organs can't function at their best without it. As we age, our body just isn't making what it made previously. So the only choice we have is to just burden the outcome of not having enough CoQ10, or make a decision to supplement. And even if you took just 2 capsules a week of this, it's life-altering. If you took it every day, as I do, 1 capsule a day, that's the ideal and optimal way to give your body what it needs.
Oh my gosh, I'm gonna love it. And the other thing, Andrew, teeny tiny, right? This is so important. I mean, a small little capsule, I mean, gentle to even the most sensitive stomachs, which is something that we're so proud of. And remember, absolutely no additives, no fillers. And what great here at HSN today, we are shipping this to you for free. You have the additional confidence of the extended return policy all the way to the end of January, because I'm telling you what, it is an amazing stocking stuffer as well. So absolutely think about this as a gift, but know that for one day, this is what we're doing for you. Why? And I heard from so many viewers yesterday when I got off the air who said, we wait just like you. We can't wait for the CoQ10 Today special, knowing that you're getting the best value. Well, you're looking at the lowest prices again of the year, and down here to the 500. So maybe you want to buy it, you want to share it with your spouse. This is the only day where you can get the 500, which clearly is the greatest savings, as you can see, with over $312 back in your pocket. This is the pricing here for the CoQ10 with the D3 2000. We have the D3 1000, and we have just the plain CoQ10. So you're welcome to take advantage of whichever ones you like. I'd love you to just kind of glance over here, right? Because Andrew,
I didn't even.
Oh yeah, the reviews. Well, there's
Yeah,
a good one because it talks about the energy.
Yep, and when it comes to the reviews, and I really encourage everyone to read them, it's to have any product that's going to be almost 90% 5-star reviews, close to 95% 4- and 5-star reviews. It's really unusual, and something. I have another chart. I'll just mention this instead of looking at the chart. There's only one other product I get to talk about, say blood pressure and blood sugar and blood lipids, triglycerides. And that product is our omega-3s. But when it comes to CoQ10, and so many of us are taking medications that might relate to, say, cardiac arrhythmias, or we're taking medications for blood pressure, we're taking medications for blood sugar, we're taking medications for blood lipids. Those medications affect liver function. Those medications can affect levels of CoQ10, and CoQ10 affects the very organ that we're trying to help by taking those medications. So if anything, those medications underscore the importance of a tool to support the work that they're accomplishing, and also to assist in the face of the consequences, the side effects of those medications, like statin drugs or drugs for osteoporosis, or things, beta blockers that might affect whether it's blood pressure, help us with blood pressure, or help us with cardiac arrhythmias and things like that. So CoQ10 is just such a common sense ingredient. It's not a drug or a medicine, but it's indispensable for the most important processes that go on in every system, in every organ, and every cell in our body. So I'm not sure how many different ways I could say it. I would not want to live a day without supplementing CoQ10. I've been doing that for literally 38 years. Since I introduced the product, I've been taking CoQ10. I'm well into my, unfortunately, well into my 7th decade, so it is what it is. Aging is going to be what it's going to be.
Right.
And we're accountable for the decisions we make. It's something my parents always tried to remind me of. It's, what were they always saying? Do as I say, not as I do. So fortunately, I followed their good counsel, and I recognize that the only person who's going to be a victim of my bad decisions is me, and the only person who's the beneficiary of those good decisions is me. But I guess also the people I love as well. So that's a good way for us to look at the good and bad decisions we make. We either burden or we benefit the people we love, and not just ourselves.
And thank you for doing that for all of us. For all of us, exactly, with the CoQ10. So once again, as we get ready to move on, because this is not a one today special, we actually have 2, but all of the different choices, as you can see up on your screen. And without a doubt, enjoying at item number 077615, the chance to feel better, have more energy, and know that you're doing something great for the most important